So today, homemade fire starters, just like the Boy Scouts used to. Fire starters are so simple and easy to make. Wait till you see how to do this. Go find an old cupcake pan because you're not going to be able to use this again once you make fire starters in it, because there's no way to get rid of all that wax. So you need that, and you need a double boiler. And then you need scrap pieces of candles, or find them in garage sales, in the thrift stores. And then you're going to need pine bedding, like from the pet store. You could probably get it at Walmart too. You need some cupcake holders. And you want to, again, go to a thrift store. Get a pan that it's okay to get filled with wax and not use. Something that you go to a yard sale, something that you pay $1 for. So you want to fill up your cupcake pan. And I like to start with as many of the same color as I can when I do these. It really doesn't matter, you know, especially if you're using them for your own use. But I do sell these also on eBay and Etsy. So when I do, I make sure like the flavor of the candle, the kind of candle it is, are all the same. So like if it's berry or vanilla, that way. So cover your surface with something that you don't care what happens to it. Get your double boiler. I have an old double boiler. Isn't this wonderful? I have no idea where I got it from. So I'm going to start this and get that water heated up. And then what I'm going to do is take all my candles and break them up and get the wick out of them. Sometimes you can't, and I just leave it in there and then pull the wick out, but get out what you can. Oh, sometimes it's really hard. Be careful not to get wax all over your stove, or you're going to be doing a lot of cleanup. Oh, there was one that came right out. That's stuck. Okay, we'll throw that in there. And just fill up your pot. This is hard. Why are these candles so hard? What's the problem here? What's the matter? Oh. All right. There we go. We're going now. This one's a little bit lighter, but I think it'll be fine, right? All right, I'm gonna put the lid on. Whoops! Watch out putting too much water in your, where's my towel? Oh my goodness. So, oh my goodness, Linda. So I wasn't thinking that as you fill, as you add candles, of course it's gonna, you know, overflow. So be careful of that. Try not to do that. All right, I made a big mess all the way down the stove. Oh my goodness. All right, let's get another one. All right, so we're gonna let that heat up. And in the meantime, while my candles are melting, I'm going to fill the cupcakes with pine bedding. And I just picked up, let's see what I got. I'll show you. I got low dust pine bedding, all natural, rabbit guinea pig wood shavings. And they work really well. I'm gonna grab a little scoop. All right, I have a little measurer. You're not measuring anything. You are just going to fill each cupcake holder. And you really want to press down your bedding. You want to fill it real well. See that? And see the size of these? They're pretty good size. Fill them right up, push them down, stuff them. And then what we're gonna do is when our candles are melted, we pour that on and we let it sit for a minute just so it starts to cool some. And then basically you want to let them sit till they're completely hard. And then they're ready to use. Isn't this a simple recipe? I told you. It's kind of crazy, it's this simple. And if you haven't seen them work, I do have video on my YouTube channel. I think they're mainly shorts of starting a fire with the fire starters. They're truly amazing. So if you have a wood stove in your house and you heat with wood, these will be perfect for you. If you're camping or hiking or just out in the backyard in the fire pit, these are great. We use them inside in our fireplace. Well, I use them outside as well. But I used our last one for the fireplace. The other ones are in the shops, so I can't use those. So it was time to make some more. And it's a fun project. Okay, so I am all filled up with my pine bedding. And I just push it down, and if I have some room, you know, I'm gonna grab some more. And just push it down. Let's see how our melting's coming. We're starting to melt. And I had also saved some pieces just from burning candles in the house. You know, the kind that drips all over. Throw those in there. And let's see, I have 2 more to put in there. And then we're gonna get a nice batch of red together. This is great for a winter day, inside rainy day project. Oh, there it is. Oh, that one was much easier to break. Maybe the older they are, the harder they are to break. I'm not sure. But some of those were really hard to break. And I make sure I have an old fork. Well, I did sacrifice a fork from our utensils Whoops, we're starting to boil, I think. Let's check this. Might have to turn it down because I don't want it boiling over. We're doing good. And watch the level of your water in your double boiler. Make sure you don't run out of water. So I have a bucket that I put all the stuff in it that I need in it for making fire starters. That way it's all together, and throughout the year or whenever I get them and I get candles, I just throw them right in there. Look at that, that's a nice candle. Has no smell. This one I bet I'm not gonna be able to break. Oh, no way. Use the counter. Ooh, not a good idea. Nope, this one is not breaking. I do not have the strength. All right, so I have some pull-apart chopsticks that I was using to mix this up, get the candles submerged, just so I could have some sort of utensil in there to help. Whoop. I'm sorry. All right, so now we are gonna let that melt, and when we're all melted, I'll be back. Okay, our first pot is melted. So what I do is I hold up the wicks that have melted in there, and I put them over here and let them dry. And I will flatten them out, and I will reuse wicks on things. So I don't throw them out, but I suppose you can if you don't need them for any reason. So here we go. We are completely melted. I'm gonna pull that off, and all you do is you pour, whoops, you fill up each cupcake right to the top. This is messy, and of course I'm worse, but these are gonna be beautiful red. They're like a berry. Hopefully I have enough to make a dozen. I did go ahead and start another pot of more of a deeper red candle. See how simple this is? Oh, I think that was one that didn't get melted. That's okay, it will melt in there. And then what I'm going to do before it completely hardens, I'm going to add more pine bedding to the top. There's a wick in there. So I have another big one that I couldn't break that I'm going to let melt. So this is what they look like. See how beautiful? Look, they're beautiful. So now I'm going to fill, basically top them off. And don't forget that they're very hot. And just push it down. You want to get enough pine bedding in there where you have a nice, thick fire starter. Because that's what's really going to do the trick. And is really going to do well with your starting your fire. Just fill them right up. You can also get fancy. You can put some other things on top, like pine cones or pine pieces, pine needle, little acorns. You can put whatever you want on these. Be as fancy as you like. Have fun with them. Do what makes you happy, right? You can get so creative with these. I've seen some really fancy ones out there for sure. But I like to keep it simple, simple. All right, now that I've filled these, I'm gonna let them cool just enough so I'm able to pull them out and let them cool the rest of the time on a rack, right? Words aren't coming to me. That one looks like it's a little too low. I will top that one off with some of this when this melts. And that candle, I'm hoping, will fill the rest of this dozen and make a dozen. I hope so. Keep my fingers crossed. Look at how gorgeous. And then as the wicks start to cool, I just pull them and straighten them. And then I have wicks that I can reuse. How awesome is that? Very happy. All right, we'll be back when we have more melted. So what I'm gonna do is let those cool just enough so they have a little bit of hardness, because you don't want to pull them out and have them lose their form. And then I'm gonna put them on a wire rack and let them cool the rest of the way, because I only have one of these. So, and I've already started a second pot of another color, and I have this last one that I hope will fill the rest of my red dozen. They're so pretty. Isn't this so simple? I told you, it's so simple. What a fun project for a winter day, right? Okay, so some of these have started to dry or cool enough that I can take some of them out. See how the color's a little bit different than the ones that I just poured? So it's safe to take them out and I won't lose the form of the cupcake. And I have sacrificed a fork to get these out. A fork works really well getting them out. And if you need to, just reform it some, squish your pine straw in, and there is our fire starter. How fun is that? And it's so easy, and these work amazing. Have I said that already? I think so, like 100 times. Well, if it doesn't come out easily, then it's not cool enough. Let it sit. So we're going to let those sit a little bit longer. Now, also, you might get on the inside of your pan some wax, and just pull that out, put it in your baggie, save it for the next batch. I do have another batch going. That's a nice deeper red. We'll do those next. And if I'm going to switch colors, all I do is wipe out my pan with a cloth or napkins or paper towels, whatever, and get it ready for the next batch in the next color. We have some space. I have moved some to the cooling rack. So we are getting close on our second batch of color. So I'm going to start filling these. excited to see how many we actually get. Oh, did I tell you how messy it is? If you have an outside area that you could do this, would probably work out great. But as long as you're careful, it's fine. Fill up your cupcakes, very full. Press down your bedding. That one's way too low. Okay, let's see how our next batch is doing. Wow, really good. We're almost there with our second color. Color's ready. Wait till you see this. This is so pretty. There might be a little bit in the bottom, but I can add that to the next batch. Can you, oh, let's do one over here so you can see it. This is a nice burgundy-ish color. I like this pot better because, oh, I went over the top, because it has a pour spout. So I'm less likely to lose my wax. Because if you pour over the cupcake, like there's a fine line. You want to get it right to the top of the cupcake paper. But if you pour over, then of course it goes over the sides and down in your pan. But you can just scrape it out. It comes right off. It's very easy. Look at how beautiful. I like this color. See? Can you see that color? It's beautiful. Oops, I forgot I have some in the end. And then I am going to top them off with more bedding and fill them right up. Because the more that they have in them, the better. The denser they are, the better. Just push it right in there. Fill it right up. So let me go grab one that is basically cooled. Hang on. So here's one of our fire starters that has almost basically all cooled. See how that looks? Perfect, all done. This is Linda from Homestead by the Lake. Thank you so much for watching my video on how to make fire starters. I hope you make your own. It's a fun project.